Okay, we're going to go through the last skill set now. So this is all about factorising and changing the subject. So if I just look on the left hand side first, factorising in itself is very straightforward. It's just the opposite of expanding brackets. So you can see here we've got 6a plus 9. You want to, because this is just a single bracket, you want to think about what is the common factor of 6a and 9. So the only thing that goes into it is a number, and that would be 3. So 3 would have to go on the outside. And then you want to kind of reverse expand a bracket. So you want to be like, what would you times 3 by to get 6a? That would be 2a, so 2a needs to go in it. Then what would you times 3 by to get the 9? You would times it by 3. Because if it was a plus, you would put a plus. So here are a few examples. So you go, what goes into 8 and 6? It would be 2. And then 2 times what gives you 8t, would be 4t. 2 times what gives you 6, it would be 3. So have a look at those and see if you understand those. If you have factorising with a quadratic, this means you've got an x squared in it and you've got another x and you've got a number. You want to, I like to write down my factors of the last number because you want two brackets with two answers being two numbers that multiply to make the 6 and add up to make the positive 5. Gotta be very careful on negatives here, okay? So if they're both the same, they're going to be both positive, okay? If they're both minuses, you're going to have 1 minus 1 positive. If you've got a minus and then a positive, you're going to have 2 negative. If you've got a positive then a minus, you're going to have a minus and a positive. So it's very, very confusing on which way around you're doing it. But you've just got to think. So in this one, we've got two numbers that need to make minus 35. That means one of them has to be a negative. And they have to add up to make minus 2. So minus 7 times positive 5 gives us 35. And if we do minus 7 add 5, that makes minus 2. This one, we've got two numbers that multiply to make positive 8. That means the signs have basically got to be the same. And they've got to add up to make minus 6. Now when you add them up to make minus 6, that means they have to both be negative. So you can see a kind of rule here that if the end one is positive, the signs are going to be the same. Okay, they're either both going to be pluses or they're both going to be minuses. This one, we can see that they've got to make minus 14. That means one needs to be positive, one needs to be negative. And they've got to add up to make positive 5. So therefore, you're going to have plus 7, minus 2. So very careful on your negatives. Change your subject, very straightforward. You basically want to solve an equation until you get the letter that you want to make the subject. I'm not going to go through this one because I don't think there is any examples with the letter on the same side. But if you just look at this one on the right, so we've got to make y the subject. So y is attached to the a. So first of all, you'd want to get rid of the t, then you'd want to get rid of the a. So if we take away t from both sides first, then we divide by a, you're left with a formula. It's a bit like you want to just get rid of everything from the side apart from the thing you're making the subject. Some other questions you've got in here. You've got some solving inequalities. So solving an inequality is very similar to just solving an equation. So if I've got 3x plus 4 is more than 19, you want to first get rid of your 4. So you take away 4 from both sides. You've got 3x is bigger than 15. Then we would divide by 3, so x is going to be greater than 5. If you have a question, for example, this one underneath, where we've got to find the greatest or the least value for a number. So this one, if you're left with 5x is going to be less than 32, that means x is going to be, well, you could write 32 over 5, or you can make it out as 6.4. Now x has to be less than it, so that means x, the biggest number that it could be would be 6. If you had it the other way round, so if you had x is going to be greater than 6.4 and you're looking for the least value for x, x has to be bigger than 6.4, so you would actually round up. So the answer would be 7 in this case because x has to be the bigger side. Okay. I don't think you've got any of the questions around these inequalities here. I think you do have a couple that do have some negatives. For example, if you've got a negative x, always take it over and make it positive, and then you can have your answer as a minus, for example. Or you can just rearrange it. So you could think about what 3 take away what gives you 8, for example. It would have to be a negative to make a positive. Right, let's go through some. So we've got our first one. If we are factorising, that means we need to put into brackets. So we're looking at 8r plus 12. So you want to think of your factors of 8 and your factors of 12. So that means your highest one would be 4. So we've done highest common factor. What would you times 4 by to get 8r? So the first bit needs to be 2r because when you expand it, you get 8r. What would you times 4 by to get 12? You would times it by positive 3 because it's a plus 12. Next one, we think about what goes into 15a squared and minus 15a. Now there is an a in both of them, so an a also has to come outside your bracket. But 15 also goes into both the numbers, so we can have 15a on the outside. Now what would you times 15a by to get 15a squared? So what would you times 15a by to get 15a squared? Well, you need another a in there, so it's going to be another a. Then what would you times 15a by to get minus 45a? Well, you've already got the a, you need the minus, but you need 3 lots of 15 to get 45. So that's going to be our answer. So if you want to check it, you can expand your bracket to see if you get your answer again. Okay, next one. What goes in to 8b squared and 12ab? Now there's a b in both of them, so a b definitely needs to come outside our bracket. But also a number goes into 8 and 12, so the highest number that goes into 8 and 12 is 4. Now you want to think about when you're expanding your bracket, what would you times 4b by to get 8b squared? So 4b times what gives us 8b squared? So we definitely need another b, but 4 times what gives us 8? It would be 2b. Then 4 times, so 4b times what gives us 12ab? Well, we need the 3 to make the 12. We've got a b, but we need another a, so it'd be 3a. Right, factorising quadratics. Now, write out your factors of 32. Even if you know it already, it would still be beneficial to do this. So we've got 1 and 32, 2 and 16, 4 and 8, and that's it. So now you've got to think about which pair of those add up to make 12. So it's pretty obvious here. You've got 8 and 4. Both of those make 12, and they both need to be a positive. So in your answer, your bracket is going to be x plus 4 and x plus 8. So that's your answers. Next one, you want your factors of 28. So 1, 28, 2, 14. It's not in 3 times table. 4 times 7. It's not in any of the times table. Those are all your factors of 28. Which pair make 11? So the only way to make 11 would be to 7 add 4. They both need to be positive. So x plus 4, x plus 7. You can tell they both need to be the same because this end one is a positive. Next one, they have 2 negatives there. So we've got something to make minus 24, and then you need to add up to make minus 2, sorry. So same thing, write down your factors of 24. So we've got 1 and 24, 2 and 12, 3 and 8, 4 and 6. So those are all your factors of 24. Which pair can make minus 2? Now there's only 4 and 6 can make minus 2. Think about which one needs to be the negative. If you did minus 4, add 6, that makes positive 2. So it needs to be minus 6, add 4. So one of your brackets is going to be x plus 4. The other bracket is going to be x minus 6. It doesn't matter which way around you write it. If you've done the x minus 6 first or x plus 4 first, it doesn't matter. Right, changing the subject. So we've got to make a the subject of the formula. So you want to get rid of things not attached to the a first. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take away b. So I've got 8y. If I take away b from both sides, I'll have c minus b on this side. Then you want to divide by your y. So you've got a is c minus b over your y. So basically we take the b first and then we take the y. So we take away our b and then we divide by y. Next one, we're still making a our subject. So we can basically take all away this 6t. So the first thing I'm going to do is take away 6d first. So I'll be left with at on this side, and on the other side I'll have 5c, but I would have taken away 6d. So that 6d is basically on the other side now. We've taken it away. Then we want to get rid of our d, and to get rid of that we're going to divide by t. I think I said d then, but I think I mean t. So a is going to be 5c minus 6d all over t. Okay, so if I divide that whole side by t, I'd have it all over t. Leave it in a fraction. This next one you can do a number of different ways. I'm going to do the easy way first, and then I'll show you the way where you can expand the bracket if you want to. But because a is inside that bracket, you can basically get rid of the r first. So the first thing I'm going to do this time is divide by r. So on the left hand side, I'll just be left with a plus t, and on this side I'll be left with 8f over r. Then all I need to get rid of is the t, so I can subtract t. So I'll have a is equal to 8f over r subtract t. Make sure that's not in that bracket, in that fraction, sorry, because I've done it in a little bit of a different way. If I come across another one, I'll do it a bit different. Right, we've got to solve the inequality. So this is very similar to solving equations. So the first thing I'm going to do is take away 4. So I'll be left with 7t is going to be greater than 25, take away 4 is 21. Then I'm going to divide by 7, so I'll be left with t is greater than 3. Okay, next one we've got to write down the smallest integer that satisfies the following inequality. So first let's solve our inequality. You can do this without a calculator, and I would recommend it because they're normally on non-calculator papers. So first of all, I want to get rid of my 2, so I'm going to take away 2. So I'll be left with 5a is greater than 29. Then I want to divide by 5, so I'm left with a is greater than 29 over 5. Now that can be written, think about writing improper fractions as mixed numbers. A is going to be greater than, how many times does 5 go into 29? Well, it goes in 5 times, with 4 left over out of the 5. So it's going to be 5 and 4/5. Now you can obviously write that as a decimal if you want to, because you know what 4/5 is 0.8. So we've got 5.8, but a has to be bigger than 5 and 4/5. So it's not going to round down to 5. The answer is going to be, the smallest number is going to be 6, because a has got to be bigger than 5 and 4/5. And an integer means we can't have no decimals in it, okay? Right, next one, we're going to write down the smallest integer that satisfies this inequality. So the first thing I'm going to do is get rid of our 3. So we've got 7g is going to be greater than 15, take away 3 is 12. Then we're going to divide by 7. So we've got g is going to be greater than 12 over 7. Again, write it from an improper fraction to a mixed number. So how many times does 7 go into 12? Well, it goes in once, and then it's got 5 out of 7 left over. So if you write it like this, you can see what number it's going to be going to. So our answer for this one, g again has to be bigger. So our answer is going to be 2. The greatest integer, the smallest integer, sorry, that can satisfy this, it would be 2, because this side has got to be bigger than 15. So 7 times 2 plus 3 is bigger than 15. That's going to be the smallest number that is possibly satisfies the rule. Okay, next one we've got factorise 5r plus 15. So think about what is our common factors of 5r and 15. So 5 obviously goes into them both. There's no letter, but 5 times what is 5r? We need an r. 5 times what is 15? It would be 3. So it would be 5 and then r plus 3. Next one, what goes into 24 and 18? So that would be 6. We've also got an a in both of them, so we can have an a on the outside. So what do you times 6a by to get 24a squared? Well, we need a 4 for 6 times 4 to get 24. And we need another a to get our a squared. What do you times 6a by to get 18a? We would need our minus for our minus 18. And we need our 3. We don't need another letter because it's already an a attached to the 18. Next one, let's do our numbers first. What goes into 3 and 12? 3. Is there an a in both? Yes, so I can take out an a. Is there a b in both? Yes, so I can take out a b. Now we've got our brackets. So we've got the 3ab times this first number slash letters, gives us 3ab squared. So the only thing missing is another b, so we just need another b in there. Then we want 3ab times what gives us 12ab. We've already got the a and the b, so it's just the number we need, and we need it to be a positive, so it'd be plus 4. Right, factorising these. So this one, luckily these are quite easy because they're all positives. We've got factors of 6, so it's 1 and 6 is the only factors of 6. So on 2 and 3, sorry. Now we need to make 5. You can't use 1 and 6 because to make 5 you would need to do 6 take away 1, and the answer doesn't give us positive 6, it would give us minus 6. So we have to use 2 and 3 for this one. So we need both of them to be positive, so it would be x plus 2 and x plus 3. With our next one, we've got factors of 12. So we've got 1 and 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4. Which ones can make 7? They can only be 3 and 4. It needs to be positive 7, so they both need to be positive. So it would be x plus 3, x plus 4. Close bracket. Factors of 16, we've got 1 and 16, 2 and 8, and 4 and 4. Which ones make 10? 2 and 8. they both need to be positive, so it'd be x plus 2, x plus 8. Making a the subject, I think, is of all of these. So first thing I need to do on my ax plus b equals c is to take away the b. So on the left hand side, I'll be left with ax equals c minus b on the right hand side. Then I want to get rid of my x, so I'll have a equals c minus b over rx. Make a the subject of ax plus d equals 3c, very similar to the last one. I'm going to get rid of the d first, so I've got ax equals 3c minus the d. So the opposite is of plus and d is to take away, so that's why I'm taking it away. Then we want to get rid of the x, we divide by the x to get rid of it, because the opposite of times is to divide. So we've got a equals 3c over d over x. So 3c minus d, over x. Last one, I'm going to do this one a little bit different to I did my last one. So if you wanted to expand your bracket first, you've got 5a plus 5b equals c. You could then get rid of your 5b. So you've got 5a equals c minus 5b. Then you can get rid of your 5. You'll have a equals c minus 5b over 5. Either one is the same. They're both technically equivalent to each other when I did those both examples. Okay, inequalities. So our first one, we've got 5 f plus 7 is greater than 47. So all we need to do is solve this just like we would solve a normal equation. So we're going to take away 7 first. So we've got 5f is going to be greater than 40. Then we're going to divide by 5. So f is going to be greater than 8. Write down the smallest integer that satisfies the inequality. So again, we're going to solve it first. So I'm going to take away the 7 first because it says plus 7. So I'll be left with 4a is going to be greater than 1. Then I'm going to divide by 4. So a is going to be greater than 1/4. Now you've got to think, what's the smallest number that is going to satisfy that rule? It's got to be bigger than 1/4. The whole number that's bigger than 1/4 is going to be 1. Next one, we're going to take away our 4 first. So we've got 6g is going to be greater than 29. And then we're going to divide by 6. So g is going to be greater than 29 over 6. So I write that into a mixed number instead. How many 6's go into 29? It's going to be 4 because 6 4 is 24. With 5 out of 6 left over. So therefore the smallest number that can satisfy that